In this activity, we're going to be using Autodesk Architecture and Pre-Architecture ADT. So go ahead and open up the Pre-Architecture ADT shortcut. And once you have it open, go ahead and we're going to go to the very end of this PDF document, type in 711, and it asks us to design a cabin. And if you notice, if you zoom in, it's looking for a cabin with 6-inch walls, 8 feet high, 32 feet by 24 feet. So let's go ahead and open up our Autodesk document. Now once you have it open, we want to make sure that snap command is off, and we also don't want a grid. So go ahead and click those two. You can right click and say off, but we do want to right click and hit the settings, and let's make sure that on the object snap we have the endpoint, midpoint, and center selected. And make sure we're in our top view, and we're going to use what is known as the shapes. And if you can't find it, go ahead and right click, and when you hit the shapes, turn it on. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on the side of my screen. And now I'm going to use the rectangle command, click onto it, and I'm going to type in 0, 0, enter. And then I'm going to type in, as it asks us to, for the X first, which is going to be 32 feet, in the command line, 32 feet, comma, 24 feet high, 24 feet, enter. Alright, now let's go ahead and zoom that to our screen. Alright, so why don't we go ahead now and dimension this. And in order to get the dimension bar, you want to right click and make sure you have the dimension selected. I'm going to again put that on the side of my screen, and I'm going to dimension the top using linear dimension. I'm going to go across the top, type, there it is, 32 feet, and come down, and that is what it has asked for. Alright, so let's go ahead and build the walls. So as we've done before on the tool palette, select the wall, right click, apply tool properties to line work, and since it's a rectangle we just need to grab a portion of that and press enter. Alright, we don't want to delete the geometry, so just go ahead and you can type in N. Alright, and if you see there though, the overall dimensions now are greater than 24 feet by 32 feet. So on the properties, let's go ahead on the justify, and you can try left or right, see what works. Now this is right, and then let's also make sure that we have the right width is 6 inches and the height is 8 feet, and that is correct. And that is the completion of the first portion of the exercise. Alright, so let's go ahead and save this. So we're going to go File, Save As, and go ahead and type your T drive. Type T : /, and then let's type in your name and cabin, and push save. In this activity we're going to continue building the cabin, and we're going to go ahead and work on the interior walls. So go ahead and open up your Pre-Architecture ADT file and go ahead to page 712, and you'll see it asks us for number 2 to add 4-inch interior walls. It's probably best to go ahead and zoom in on that. Now this is not entirely accurate, so we'll just do the best we can here. But what I do see is I have a 10-foot by 10-foot 2 bedrooms here, and I'm going to go ahead and just start building that. So let's open up our AutoCAD file, and I'm going to select the line tool. And the easiest thing to do is we're going to go from the interior of the wall and go ahead and select it, and we want to point the mouse in the direction. So I'm going to type in 10 feet and push enter. Then I'm going to come straight down, and this is where our OSNAP and our polar helps us, especially the polar here. Come straight down, so make sure that your polar is turned on. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to come down 10 feet. Enter. And then I don't even have to type it, I can just come across here. Let's go ahead and type 10 feet. And then I'm going to come down 3 feet. Come across. I can also just go up and you'll see a little tracking line. Select that and come down 10 feet. Type enter. And then what we'll go ahead and do is we're going to come up from this point right here. What we're going to do now is build the rest of this interior. So I'm going to come up 3 feet and then out 6 feet and up. Let's go ahead and do that. Take my line tool. Let's just go ahead and come up 3 feet dash 8 inches. Then we're going to come across 6 feet. Enter. Let's come up 2 feet dash 6 inches. And then we can just come across and snap. And let's go up 3 feet dash 11 dash 7 over 8. And then we're going to come across 6 feet. Let's go up 9 feet dash 2 dash 1/4. Straight up. Push enter. Let's close it off. Push enter. Let's go ahead and we can actually get rid of some of these lines here, because when we make a wall we want to just use one of these lines. And then let's put our center of the closet in there. Enter. Then we can go ahead and we just want one wall here. What will happen is if you start building the walls, you'll see an error message if there are too many walls, because it only wants to build one wall at a time. I seem to have deleted the wrong piece here, but let's go ahead and close that up. Okay. So now let's go ahead and we're going to build the wall. So on the Tool Palettes Design, right-click the wall, apply tool properties to line work. And you really want to select one at a time here. We don't want to accidentally have two lines that we select. And push enter. We don't want to delete it, so we're going to, it defaults to no. Push enter again. Okay, and now we need to clean this up a little bit. So what we want to do is select the wall and have it match the PDF file. So I know on this one I need to move this down. So I'll select right, and you're going to go ahead and just clean all this up. Okay, and as I said, this is not completely accurate from the based on the drawing, and we're getting an error message here. So let's go ahead and delete this wall right here, and we're going to take the other wall and just come straight across with it, and that should clean that up. And then we want to match all these to our PDF file, make sure they're all correct, they're all inside. Or centered. Okay, and then go ahead and save your work. Alright, now let's, before we move along here, last thing we want to do is select these walls. And make sure that they're all 4 inches. So they default to 6, we're going to change this to 4. Okay. Alright, and you've completed a portion of the second exercise, so go ahead and save your work.